am Natasha Busst, and this is Nightline. The top stories. China backs Malaysia's bid for full BRICS membership. And TikTok's top management summoned over slow response to fake news, immoral content. Good morning. China has pledged to back Malaysia's bid for full membership into BRICS. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the gesture is not only a profound honor for the country, but also a testament to China's confidence in Malaysia's ability to play a more meaningful role on the global stage. Taking to his official social media following his meeting with President Xi Jinping, Anwar shared that the Chinese president has given his full support to expedite Malaysia's entry into BRICS as a full member. The Prime Minister also expressed deep appreciation to Malaysia. In his remarks during the talks held earlier, Xi described the close ties between China and Malaysia to being as inseparable as flowing waters. He said China and Malaysia's bond, forged more than 50 years ago, has seen both countries work together as they embarked on the path to modernization. Meanwhile, Anwar said his courtesy visit to Xi on Tuesday has further strengthened ties between the two nations following Xi's visit to Malaysia in April, with inked 31 agreements and memoranda of understanding.
Dengan perbincangan yang lebih mendalam dengan Presiden Xi Jinping dan Premier Li, hal-hal pendidikan dan kerjasama dua hala yang harus kita tingkatkan untuk memberi manfaat kepada rakyat Malaysia.
He added that both leaders have agreed to continue to strengthen the friendship built based on trust, respect, and sincerity. In the meantime, Malaysia has proposed extending the East Coast Rail Link, or ECRL, to the Thai border in a move aimed at strengthening regional transport connectivity. Conveying the proposal during his meeting with Xi in Beijing, Anwar said the mega project has the potential to unlock rural development along its route. Anwar also shared the idea at the Malaysia-China Business and Economic Dialogue, attended by more than 120 of China's largest companies and conglomerates. He highlighted that the extension could open up new opportunities for trade and investment between the countries, while positioning Malaysia as a key regional hub for the semiconductor, energy and electronics industry.
But beyond that, because of the success of this huge East Coast Railway link, we have now agreed, and I will be discussing with both President and Premier, is to extend that further to the Thai border.
Phase 1 of the ECRL linking Kota Baru in Kelantan to the Gombak Integrated Terminal in Selangor is scheduled for completion this December, with operations expected to begin in January next year. In his address, Anwar also underscored the special ties between Kuala Lumpur and Beijing, built on the spirit of friendship and solidarity. He paid tribute to Malaysian tycoon Tan Sri Robert Kwok, recalling how the veteran businessman maintained strong confidence in China.
At a time when almost every single foreign interest left or decided to leave, Robert Kwok stayed and showed not only confidence but sincere friendship from what you call the dictate of the heart.
Meanwhile, China's e-commerce giant JD.com has expressed its intent to expand its operations in Malaysia, particularly in the logistics sector. This was the outcome of the meeting between the company's representative with the Prime Minister in Beijing on Tuesday morning. Anwar said JD.com, a key player in the e-commerce and logistics sectors, also plans to purchase more Malaysian products to be marketed in China. Anwar also met with the China Semiconductor Industry Association, the primary body for more than 1,400 semiconductor companies in China. The government plans to set up preschools for children with autism in every district by 2027. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the initial target is to set up at least one such preschool in each state.
Kita telah mulakan tahun ini di 3 tabika di Melaka. Tahun depan kita akan mewujudkan satu negeri, satu tabika.
Zahid said this to reporters after the Rural and Regional Development Ministry's monthly assembly in Putrajaya on Tuesday. He said an engagement session on the budget with all stakeholders will be held this Thursday. Zahid added that the role of the Kemas Pratafis program will be expanded, while teachers will undergo new training to improve their pedagogical skills to move away from conventional methods. The top management of social media platform TikTok has been summoned to the Federal Police Headquarters to address several issues, particularly the spread of false information and online safety, among others. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fazil said the meeting follows TikTok's alleged delay in cooperating with the authorities. According to Fahmi, one of the cases which drew attention involved the spread of false information by an individual impersonating a surgeon.
Pihak TikTok sangat lewat memberi kerjasama kepada pihak PDRM. Baru-baru ni dalam kes seorang doktor palsu, pakar bedah kononnya, pihak TikTok sangat lambat memberikan maklumat kepada pihak polis Diraja Malaysia sehingga saya terpaksa menelefon CEO TikTok sendiri, Shao, ya, untuk maklumkan, this is a crime that's being committed and your organisation is very slow.
He said this to reporters after attending an event in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday. Fahmi added that the Inspector General of Police and the Attorney General will also be attending the meeting to stress that Malaysia's laws must be adhered to by all platforms. Meta platforms will also be summoned over pedophilia-related content, school gangs, and the spread of harmful information through WhatsApp and Facebook. Engagement sessions with social media companies will be held monthly to ensure that cybersecurity issues are addressed thoroughly. Speaking at the same event, Fahmi said the man who posed as a forensic surgeon claiming to have been involved in the autopsy of 13-year-old Zara Karina Mahathir will be brought to court.
Doktor pakar kata dia bedah, dia nampak badan Zara Karina. Palsu, dahlah palsu. Doktor tu pun scammer, akan dihadapkan ke mahkamah.
On August 19th, the man behind the Datuk Prof. Dr. Tunku Iskandar TikTok account was summoned by the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission under the Communications and Multimedia Act for the improper use of network facilities. If charged and found guilty, he could be fined up to 500,000 ringgit, jailed for up to 2 years, or both. In a related development, the Kota Kinabalu High Court has overturned a coroner's decision that allowed the lawyers representing the minors accused of bullying Zara Karina Mahathir to participate in her inquest. Judge Datuk Duncan C. Kodol made the ruling after hearing arguments from both sides on Tuesday. The court, however, said the parties were at liberty to renew their applications before the new coroner in charge of the case. The previous coroner had allowed the lawyers representing the 5 teenagers to participate in the inquest proceedings as interested parties. The coroner then later recused herself from hearing the case, citing a conflict of personal interest. 13-year-old Zara Karina was found unconscious on July 16th and was pronounced dead the next day at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. The government is reviewing a new method to determine household eligibility for aid based on current realities. Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said the factors being considered include place of residence, number of dependents, and fixed monthly expenses.
Kerajaan melalui belanjawan tahunan menyediakan pelbagai langkah pelepasan cukai individu yang secara amnya adalah untuk manfaat golongan M40 seperti pelepasan untuk anak-anak, perbelanjaan perubatan, gaya hidup, potongan KWSP, potongan perkeso dan yuran penghantaran anak ke taska.
Amir said this in response to a question in the Dewan Negara on Tuesday. He added that the shift from a blanket subsidy system to a more targeted approach would better support low and middle income groups. Savings made from targeted subsidies can also be channeled towards improving essential infrastructure such as schools and clinics. Bank Negara Malaysia is expected to maintain the overnight policy rate, or OPR, in its upcoming monetary policy meeting this Thursday. Analysts attribute this to a resilient domestic economy and well-contained inflationary pressures. BIMB Securities expects the rate to remain at 2.75%, in line with the central bank's focus on financial stability and external risks. Bank Negara is also expected to maintain its neutral policy stance for the remainder of the year. Meanwhile, developments in the U.S. Federal Reserve's policy will continue to be monitored, though they are not seen as likely to influence the OPR in the near term. New Zealand will allow wealthy foreign investors to buy property, partially reversing a 7-year ban that had aimed to cool soaring prices. The ban, pushed by former Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern in 2018, aimed to rein in the South Pacific nation's booming housing prices, blamed at the time on record migration levels and a shortage of housing stock. Australians, at the time the second most common foreign buyers after the Chinese, were exempt due to free trade agreements, as were Singaporeans. However, under new rules announced Monday that come into force by the end of the year, holders of an active Investor Plus residency visa will be able to buy or build a house worth $2.95 million. Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said since its launch in April, more than 300 people had applied for the visa. Forty-one arrested in War Games raid. More from the local front after this breather. Don't go away.
Kita nampak satu objek timbul, nampak seakan kepala dan juga tangan.
Mangsa dipukul dan dikelar sebelum mayat ditenggelamkan dalam sungai dengan pemberat bagi menghapuskan bukti.
So we try to tarik. Kenapa kita boleh tarik berat? Dan ni kita dapat tahu ada motosikal di bawahnya.
Beliau tidak dapat mengingati apa-apa tentang kejadian ini kerana beliau telah disantau.
Sejauh mana dia melakukan jenayah, dia akan meninggalkan kesan jenayah tersebut di tempat kejadian.
Apakah kehidupan ini seterusnya? Boleh ke aku bahagia dengan perkahwinan ni?
Disangka manis bermadu, namun pahitnya yang dirasa.
Dah suka sangat nampak. Kau dah lebih dah ni. Kau tunggu Nisa.
Nisa, lepas ni boleh tak? Ambil serius sikit pasal hidup ni.
Seindah Hujan Cinta, mulai 4 September, setiap Isnin hingga Khamis 10 malam. Terbaru di Samarinda TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Action.
Ustazah, tolong saya Ustazah.
Kali ni aku yakin Abang Ria akan jadi milik aku. Padan muka kau Mia.
I memang bodoh. You dengan Mirza memang pelakon yang terbaik. Nah, Tanya, you menang.
Nak lagi drama-drama legend? Bayar RM9.90, lagi layan ditonton.
Kita orang Sarawak, macam-macam aktiviti best minggu kita di studio tonton Drama Sangat. Ada gaya macam ratu, pertandingan ratu etnik Drama Sangat dah tunggu. Untuk adik-adik, tunjukkan bakat Nurana Ejen Ali sambil bergambar dengan maskot Ejen Ali. Yang hati kental, boleh cuba masuk trail rumah hantu. Dan mestilah personaliti media prima dan artis Drama Sangat pun ada. Selfie banyak-banyak, okey? Jumpa kita semua di Karnival Jom Heboh Sarawak, dataran perayaan Petra Jaya Kuching 5 hingga 7 September ini. Jom, jom, jom!
All officers and personnel assigned to escort dignitaries and VVIPs will be required to undergo a special security training program to boost readiness while on duty. Inspector General of Police Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Ismail said the move comes in light of a recent incident where a woman attempted to approach the Sultan of Perak, Sultan Nazrin Shah, during the state-level National Day celebration on Sunday.
Kita kena beri peningkatan dari segi khusus bodyguarding, kemudian menyerapkan elemen-elemen unit tindakan khas dan juga komando supaya dapat dikemaskan semua pegawai yang bertugas dengan pihak istana dan juga pihak kerajaan negeri.
Khalid was speaking to reporters after officiating the launch of a police diploma program at the Kuala Kubu Baru Police College in Hulu, Selangor. He added that investigations into the female suspect in the case also point to possible drug abuse. In the incident, the woman attempted to break through security to approach Sultan Nazrin, but was quickly detained by security personnel at the scene. She has been remanded for 3 days to assist in investigations for attempted grievous harm. Meanwhile, a disciplinary inquiry is also being carried out on the escort team to determine whether negligence played a part in the incident. A group of men preparing for a so-called war game using imitation firearms and accessories had their plans cut short when police raided their site in Padang Hangus near Gebeng Pahang on August 31st. 41 men aged between 21 and 66 were detained during the operation, codenamed Op Laras, after a tip-off from the public. According to police, the men detained came from various backgrounds, including retired military personnel, civil servants, and professionals such as engineers and physiotherapists. Based on intelligence, the police found that the group was planning to hold the war games on undeveloped Navy reserve land, communicating the details via a WhatsApp group.
Orang awam datang ke tempat tersebut di mana mereka ni telah merancang untuk mengadakan satu game dinamakan war game yang mana menggunakan senjata tiruan.
Police seized 65 imitation firearms, 32 airsoft pistols, 130 bullets, 28 vests, 40 helmets, and 35 other accessories, including walkie-talkies. The items are valued at about 100,000 ringgit and include a rifle worth more than 6,000 ringgit. The suspects have been remanded until September 4th to assist in investigations. In Negeri Sembilan, 36 Chinese nationals were jointly charged at the Port Dickson Magistrates Court on Tuesday for allegedly defrauding victims through fake investment schemes. The charges, read before Magistrate Muhammad Faris Rahman, involved 31 men and 5 women aged between 21 and 44. The suspects were charged with conspiring to commit fraud by deceiving fellow Chinese nationals through non-existent investment offers. No plea was recorded as none of the accused understood Malay language. The suspects allegedly committed the offence at a house in Taman Tanjung at around 3:30 p.m. on August 21st. The court denied bail and fixed September 12 for next case mention and for the appointment of a Mandarin interpreter. Indonesian diplomat in Peru shot dead while cycling. The details when Nightline returns.
Siapa bagi bunga ni, sayang?
Tak tahu. Engkau tu dah kahwin. Dalina tu pun dah kahwin. Dah ada anak dah pun.
Siapa tu?
Jap.
Selalu sangat perasaan baru-baru ni dia macam asyik termenung, mengelamu seorang-seorang.
Mama tak balik lagi?
Wanginya.
Untuk you, I sanggup buat apa saja.
Kenapa?
Apa perasaan aku bila aku nampak Dalina dengan suami dia?
Sakit sangat. Dina masih simpan lagi klip rambut tu?
Mama bonggat dah siapa tu?
Hakim tu sebaik-baik suami, sebaik-baik lelaki. You dengan Aida, kau macam dulu dah.
Then you tell me, macam mana untuk kita jadi macam dulu balik? Masih belum terlambat lagi untuk kita betulkan semua di Dalina.
Kalau ni yang dia nak, aku akan pergi jumpa dia.
Setia itu mahal. Mulai 28 Julai, Isnin hingga Jumaat 7 malam. Terbaru di Akasia TV3.
Masuk hutan, selam lautan dan tinjau wildlife beraksi dalam Arabian Seas. Africa's Hunters musim pertama. Chasing the Rains. Africa's Hunters musim kedua. Alien Abyss. Layan Animal Documentary di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Wanita 68 tahun Malaysia Merdeka. Pasti banyak nostalgia manis waktu cuti merdeka kan? Cuaca macam ni teringin pula nak hirup sup panas. Pilih je sup ayam, sup berkrim, sup gearbox pun ada. Dalam dunia digital sekarang penipuan semakin berleluasa. Apa yang harus kita ketahui sebagai pengguna untuk melindungi diri kita? Jangan lupa anak-anak juga ada hak mereka. Kadang-kadang kita yang leka mengenainya. Dan untuk hari cuti ini kami bawakan pelbagai manisan untuk anda. Ada kek, jus, agar-agar dan macam-macam lain. Semuanya di WSI TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton. Wanita hari ini.
Nightline continues. Thailand's ruling Pheu Thai party moved on Tuesday to dissolve parliament as the country's main opposition said it had not yet decided whether to back any of the two coalitions attempting to form the next government. Local media outlet Mati Chon, citing Pheu Thai Secretary General Sorawong Tiantong, said the process to dissolve parliament was underway just days after a court dismissed Petong Tan Shinawat due to an ethics violation. The move came as People's Party, which is the main opposition group that Pheu Thai and the Bumjai Thai Party are looking to woo in a bid to form the next administration, said it had not taken a call on which camp to back. People's Party official Pakonwood Udam Pipat School told reporters the party's executives would make the decision on Wednesday. Indonesian police fired tear gas near two universities in Bandung on Monday evening, adding new tension to protests that have rocked the country for a week. Student bodies from the Islamic University of Bandung, or UNISBA, and Pasundan University said security forces launched tear gas canisters near their campuses. Unisba said its campus served as a medical hub for demonstrators, but accused security forces of a brutal attack that caused breathing problems for some students and aimed to silence dissent. Police denied entering university grounds, saying they only moved to disperse non-student protesters blocking nearby roads. The unrest began in Jakarta over lavish perks for lawmakers and has since spread nationwide after a police vehicle hit and killed a motorcycle taxi driver. Meanwhile, a leading rights group said at least 20 people remain missing following the violent protests, which have widened to include anger at police. The Commission for the Disappeared and Victims of Violence, or CONTRAS, said it received 23 reports of missing persons as of Monday. After verification, 20 people are still unaccounted for. They were reported missing in several areas, including Bandung, Depok on Java Island, and the administrative cities of central Jakarta. So far, at least 6 people have been killed and more than 1,200 arrested since protests erupted last week. In other news, an Indonesian diplomat was shot dead while cycling outside his apartment in the Peruvian capital of Lima on Monday evening, just 5 months after arriving in the country. Police said the attack happened in Lima's Lince district, where the victim, 40-year-old Zetro Leonardo Purba, was intercepted by 2 men on a motorcycle on Cesar Vallejo Street. The assailants fired 3 shots at him before fleeing the scene. Zetro was rushed to the Javier Prado clinic but succumbed to his injuries. His wife, who was waiting at the apartment entrance, was unharmed and is now under police protection along with other family members. Authorities said the motive behind the attack remains under investigation. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck Kunar in southeastern Afghanistan on Tuesday, raising fears of further destruction just 2 days after a stronger magnitude 6 quake killed more than 1,400 people and injured thousands in the same region. Tuesday's tremor occurred at a shallow depth of 10 kilometers, the same as the quake that struck shortly after midnight on Sunday. It remains unclear how much damage the latest quake has caused. Rescue and relief efforts continue to be severely hampered by the rugged terrain and the isolation of mountain villages. So far, at least 1,411 people have been killed, with more than 3,124 others injured and over 5,400 homes destroyed. Meanwhile, more than 1,000 people lost their lives in a landslide triggered by heavy rains in a village in the central Darfur state of Western Sudan. According to a rebel group that controls the area, the entire population of Tarsin village in the Mara Mountains was killed on August 31st after heavy rains caused the landslip. The group said only one person survived the disaster, adding that the village's renowned citrus orchards were destroyed. It also appealed to the United Nations and international aid agencies for assistance in recovering the bodies of victims, who included children. There was no confirmation from the Sudanese government as of Tuesday morning. The Mara Mountains, a rugged volcanic range, is prone to landslides during the rainy season, which peaks in August. In 2018, a nearby landslip killed at least 20 people.
Let me turn next to the action we're taking for those who are live on Sport Buttons.
On to sports now. Badminton world champions Chen Tangjie, To Yi-wei and women's doubles runners-up Pearly Tan and Tina received a hero's welcome after they returned from the World Championships in Paris on Tuesday. The quartet arrived at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 5:51 a.m. and were greeted by a crowd of fans, family and friends, despite it being a working day.
Yeah, worth it lah. Just like, I hope not only me, because all the players, they sacrifice for everything for our country and they fight all out on the court. Yeah, this is what we want to do for Malaysia lah, because we playing with the flag on our chest.
Tangjie and Yi-wei carved their names into the record books by clinching Malaysia's first ever world title in the mixed doubles with a dominant 21-15, 21-14 win against Jiang Zhenbang Wei Yaxin of China. The duo will receive 20,000 ringgit, while Pearly Tina will get 10,000 ringgit via the National Sports Incentive Scheme. Meanwhile, Pearly and Tina hope that their achievement will spur more Malaysian women athletes to follow in their footsteps.
To win this medal is also something big, and we really hope that this can really open eyes to a lot of especially women athletes out there.
Yeah, I'm very happy and proud that we can bring women's double to the eye of the world. There's no regret, and we really give everything. We work hard for this medal.
The duo created history by clinching silver at the World Championships after a valiant 14-21, 22-20, 17-21 defeat to China's world number 1 Liu Shangxi, Han Ning. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Vietnam's largest ever public celebrations, marking 80 years since its independence, with legions of patriots marching in lockstep under fluttering flags. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and stay safe.